Welcome into Top of the Perch. It's another Tottenham win. The unbeaten season continues as they defeat Liverpool 2-1 on another last-minute goal. This time an own goal, but nevertheless, it was a goal that counted for Tottenham in a very controversial game. But biggest thing here, Tottenham walk away with the 3 points, currently sit second in the table, and are only one of two unbeaten teams left in the league. The other one is Woolwich Arsenal. So let's just get into this game. Goal scorers were Son in the 36th minute, Cody Gakpo for Liverpool in the 4th minute of first half stoppage time, and then a Joel Matip goal in the 96th minute, so the 6th minute of stoppage time, and own goal gives Tottenham the victory. Those were the goals. The yellow cards aplenty. Liverpool go down to 9 men eventually. That was the first red card. Was I believe it was like right around the 30th minute, like 26-27, somewhere around there. Because I thought, okay, there's an hour left of this game, basically. If you're down to 10 men, you got to find a way to win this game. Because at that point, it was 1-0. It obviously, Tottenham do go up right after that. It was a Curtis Jones red card for, endangering an opponent. In real-time play, yes, it did look like a questionable red card. When you slow it down, which... those are the rules of VAR. You're supposed to slow it down. Clearly a red card. I don't get why people are arguing it's a red card. I get if you didn't see the slow-mo replay of it and you only saw it at full game pace, which understandable. But when you slow it down, the Curtis Jones is sliding in, spikes up right into the leg. I believe it was Udogie at the time. It might have been Basuma. One of the two. But you're sliding in, spikes up right into the very upper part of the ankle. That it's clearly a red. If you're arguing that, I don't really think you understand the game. And then Tottenham are playing up a man for about that would be 30-ish minutes, or 40-ish, I should say. And then Diego Jota gets a second yellow in the 69th minute that sends Liverpool down to 9 men. At that point, the game was 1-1, which at that point I'm saying, if there's a team to lose that's up 2 men, it's Tottenham, because they'll find a way, even though they have the significant advantage, but they didn't, obviously. Obviously, people are arguing the Jota yellow cards that came basically minutes in between each other. The second one that led to the red, 100% yes, that's a yellow card foul. The first one, yes, I can somewhat understand where Liverpool fans are coming from, given that, yes, it did look like Udogie tripped himself a little bit, kind of elaborated a little bit, that led to, of course, the yellow card. Obviously we haven't even got to the biggest controversy of this game, which was the VAR call, which I feel like that was right after, not right after, but just moments after the first red card for Curtis Jones, because that was coming off the play, I believe that was right after that. It was a Liverpool counterattack. Luis Diaz was receiving a through ball. He had an open net, basically. It was just him and Vicario. Easily slides it past. Called offsides, Luis Diaz is 40 yards back. They go to a VAR review. They don't even draw the lines, and it just goes check complete. I was questioning it a little bit because I'm like, it looks like he's on sides. And they just went on, and it was no goal. The explanation we've got was, well, obviously, we've gotten a apology from the referees that it was a human error. The referees have been taken off the next match weeks of games due to this. But the explanation we've seen is that when VAR was called in to check the goal, they were under the belief that it was called a goal. So that's why no lines were drawn, and it was just a quick check complete. And we just went on with the game. If that is the case, I don't know how that happens. How do you not know that the ref, called offsides in that situation, and you're checking if that ref was correct? I don't know how you do that, but that's why they are getting called off this game. And then that just became a disaster from there. If you go anywhere on the internet today or after the game yesterday, anywhere close to, football Twitter or just any of that type of thing, it's just an absolute disaster. Yes, I do think it should have been a goal. I'll be 100% honest there. Should have 100% been a goal. But the people that are arguing the red cards, they were. Let's just leave that be. I get your gripes with the offsides call. That was 100% human error. The red cards were not, though. Those were clear as day, especially the first one, which I don't get why people are still arguing the first one. Clear as day, red card. If you can't see that, I don't think you understand the game, to be honest with you. I don't think you understand it if you don't see that being a clear red card. But then it like I said, it does end up being a Joel Matip own goal, I should say, in the 96th minute, right from outside the 12-yard box on a Pedro Porro cross that was headed to Alejandro Valdez, who most likely would have put it in the back of the net anyways. He deflects it. It goes top corner, right past Alisson. Alisson punches it into the crowd. Scenes from the south end. Tottenham get the victory. What a match. Like I said, Tottenham stay unbeaten. They currently sit second in the table. Only Manchester City above them, who obviously lost on Saturday to Wolverhampton Wanderers. But just the development of this squad under Ange Postecoglou, we're only 8 games into this whole thing. No, we're not competing for the title. We're not. But just to see the progress this team has made from last year is really inspiring, I'd say. I mean, if you look at it, of our first 8 games, because I'm including that cup game, because that counts, you've played 3 of the top 6, or the big 6 teams. It was a win, a draw on the road, and a win. That's pretty good. 7 points from a possible 9 against those type of opponents. Pretty good. I think it more says stuff about Ange and how, this team is developing under him. He's obviously going to need to be backed. There are still some weaknesses in the side, but I think things are finally going in the right direction. And, given all of this, gets the first win for Tottenham against Liverpool since 2017, obviously. Pulled out the kit that they were, because it was at Wembley. That was the year that White Hart Lane was demolished. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium was being built. In North London, I think they said it was 2015 was the last time they beat them. and that might have been Jurgen Klopp's first game as manager. Could be wrong there, but I remember them mentioning something about that on the broadcast. But Liverpool have been just such a boogie team for Tottenham for so long. I mean, including VAR calls not gone their way. I could bring you up Diego Jota from last year. Spikes up into Oliver Skip's head. Yellow card. What happens? He goes on to score the game winner in the 96th minute, 97th minute. Of course. I mean, there's so many games at Anfield that just boggle the mind. Not VAR related, but just games that boggle the mind. Champions League final. A game that I still honestly don't remember much except the first minute. And that awful handball call. Like I said, I don't remember much other than that handball call. The rest of the game, I honestly have no idea if they had any chance in that game. I honestly don't. I haven't watched the game since. I haven't watched highlights since. Only highlight I've watched is the handball. I just can't. I can't. But yeah, Tottenham walk away with victory here. Huge for them. So, I mean, let's move on as we usually do to the stats. Tottenham, once again, controlling possession. I was shocked by this number when I saw it, 64%, leaving Liverpool at 36%. I was shocked by the Liverpool number, to be honest. I thought this was more of a 50-50 game, and seeing that Tottenham had that much more possession, absolutely mind-boggling to me. Shots, Tottenham double of what Liverpool had, 24-12. Again, double here of shots on target. Tottenham had 8 compared to Liverpool's 4. Shots in the box, Tottenham had 10, just above Liverpool's 9. Shots outside the box. This is something that has annoyed me with Tottenham. They're taking a lot of shots outside the box that either A, aren't close, B, don't have enough pace on it, or C, just aren't going anywhere. I'd like us to cut down a little bit on those shots outside the box unless they're completely on target. Because, like I said, either they go into the stands or they go straight into the keeper's gloves. There have been a few goals to come off of those type of shots so far this season. But with the amount of shots we're taking, it's just way too much, I feel. Should be getting more in the box. Expected goals, Tottenham win that 2.23 to 1.31 for Liverpool. Tottenham passes 662 for a accurate pass rating of 91%. They completed 603 passes of those 662, which is just seeing that number insane. I feel like I say that every week when we look at that number, insane. Liverpool had 364 with 281 of those being accurate, which is a 77% percentage, I should say. Like I said, fouls aplenty in this game. 11 fouls for Tottenham compared to 17 for Liverpool. 5 yellow cards for Tottenham compared to Liverpool's 4. Tottenham get the advantage on corners here. They did really feel like they had a plentiful amount, which turned out to be 11 compared to Liverpool's 5. So given that, it's time to move on to the player ratings, as we always do. We will start, as we always do, up top. Son Heung-min gets an 8.3 in this. He got subbed off in the 69th minute, which is something I will discuss later when we get to Postecoglou, because just questionable for me. But he does get the goal in this game. He ends up with an 8.3. I thought he had a pretty good game. Richarlison, he plays on the left. Brendan Johnson obviously out with that hamstring injury he suffered last week. I kind of just figured Solomon would be put in this position. He ends up being on the bench. But Richarlison gets an 8.4, but he earns my player of the match. He got an assist in this game. he honestly he looked really good out there in that position. Was he, getting on target? Yes, but no. But he was doing a lot more than he did up top. I really liked seeing that from him. It looked like he's starting to get a little bit of that confidence back. I'm really happy with that. I hope this run continues. I think this upcoming week at Luton Town is going to be a big game for him, hopefully, and get him, back fully on track, I'd say. James Maddison playing that, attacking midfielder role, as he always does, earns an 8.2. He got subbed off, I believe it was the 83rd minute. Another very good performance from him. He's been very consistent at very good performances. He is looking like the signing of the summer for Tottenham, even though there are a few other players that can make that claim. But if I were to make a claim, I would say all of the signings Tottenham have had this summer so far have been all hits and no misses. Obviously, there's a lot of time for that to change. So, Dejan Kulusevski earns an 8.2 in this game. He's not like the goal-scoring threat that I kind of figured he would be this year, but he's playing a role for Postecoglou that I'm really intrigued by. Whenever he gets the ball, he has like 2 or 3 defenders right on him. And somehow, I don't know why this is, but he gets those 2 or 3 defenders on him. And then that opens up space for other players. He's finding those spaces for other players and getting the ball to them in those playmaking type positions. I figured Kulusevski would be more of, like I said, an attacking type forward, getting goals this year under Postecoglou. But it looks like he's taken up this role of trying to take up defenders so that other players can get open spaces. And I'm really enjoying seeing that from him. I think he's having a really good season so far, even though the stats aren't there to back it up. Yves Bissouma, got a yellow card in this game, got subbed off in this game, gets a 7.9. The fact that we had him for a full year and he barely played under Antonio Conte, absolutely criminal. This dude changes games. I'm so glad that we have him right now and that we're actually playing him right now. I just, like I said, I can't believe we had him for a year and barely played him the way that he's playing right now. Absolutely criminal. Pop Sarr gets 7.8. He ended up getting subbed off in this game. Yes, there are still those moments where he does look like a young Premier League player that still needs to develop, and that's very understandable. Of course. It's only your 7th game, I believe, in this league. You're going to have those games, but just he's so much better than any other option Tottenham have, which also says something that you can be playing right now for one of the best squads in England, I would say, form-wise. I won't say it's like the best team in England, but you're playing for one of the best teams, one of the most informed teams. That's probably a better way to say it. One of the best informed teams in the nation right now, and you're still developing. That's just insane. Destiny Udogie, he got subbed off in this game. He got a yellow card also. But he's kind of on the same way as Pop Sarr. He looks good. He's still developing. But he's playing in one of the most informed teams right now and looks good doing it even though he's still developing. He's going to be an absolutely insane player in 2 years. He's already an insane player now. But the levels he's going to be at when he's actually been in the league and got experience, it's going to be insane. I can't wait to see it happen. I'm really excited by the development of this team, especially with him. He is quite quickly becoming one of the better players out in this team. The center back duo of Mickey Van de Ven and Christian Romero both earn an 8.2 from me in this game. Van de Ven My. This man he's so fast. He is so fast. I haven't seen a center back that fast play for Tottenham in a long time. He is just, could be like 15 yards out from the ball, and I feel like he's there in no time. It is insane what he is doing with this squad. I quite enjoy it. He cost a lot of money for Tottenham this summer, but it was money well spent. He is a great center back, and I'm so glad that we signed him near the end of the window. And Christian Romero gets a yellow card. I feel like that's kind of the Christian Romero tax. You're always risking a yellow card with him, but, I mean, he still does his thing, and he gets the job done. And then Pedro Porro, he actually ends up being the highest scored player from me. Very close for him earning my man of the match. I just gave it to Richarlison because I just thought overall Richarlison had a bit better performance. But Pedro Porro, I keep saying this every week. He didn't start week 1 at Brentford. Started week 2 against Man United at home. And he hasn't given that spot back to Emerson Royale since. This team cannot play without him. The plays that he makes are insane. Like, these are the plays that we saw in those highlight reels from his Sporting Club de Portugal days. This is like what we signed him to do under Conte, and that Conte couldn't get out of him. This is just absolutely insane what we're seeing from him. The way that he's made this team, he makes his team. Like I said, this team can't play without him. It's absolutely insane what he's done in those 6 weeks that he's played. It's just, I'm stunned by it. And then Vicario, our other signing from the summer, that's starting to look like to be the bargain of the year. He hits an 8.1, obviously gives up that Gakpo goal, but still makes some very crucial saves in this game to keep Tottenham in this game. But what another performance from him. He is so athletic. Some of the saves that he's making, I haven't seen a Tottenham goalkeeper make almost ever. Hugo Lloris was, I don't think, ever that athletic. It's just insane what he's doing. Looking at the players that were subbed on, Manor Solomon, he gets a 7.1. He had an okay performance. I'm starting to worry a little bit about him. He's starting just to look like Lucas Moura out there, honestly. He has some playmaking, but other than that, it's just, meh. He's not great. He's not terrible. I mean, he was on a free, so it is what it is. Ben Davies, Oliver Skipp, they both got subbed on in the 83rd minute, so it's just enough that you can give them a grade, but it kind of seems harsh giving them both 6.1s. They just didn't do a ton out there to, impress me, I guess I would say. That's kind of why they just ended up there. But it wasn't anything slighting their gameplay. I really don't get bringing on Oliver Skipp in that point, but whatever. Then Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg gets subbed on in the 90th, so obviously not enough time there. And Alejandro Velez makes his Tottenham Hotspur debut. He also got subbed on in the 90th minute. Not enough time for me to rank him, but like I said, he almost got a goal in his first game, being subbed on basically just for stoppage time. He ends up getting a yellow card in the game, though, but still, pretty good performance for the 6 minutes we saw him. Finally, we get to my manager. I gave Postecoglou a 7 after what seemed like a consistent week of 8. I like what Postecoglou's doing. I trust the process. I don't get some of these subs. I don't get why you're bringing off Son in the 70th minute when there's still 20 minutes to play and a game to chase. Because at that point, it was still 1-1. Taking off Madison in the 83rd, your playmaker that has made almost all your goal plays this year. Taking him off they're now down 2 men. So you're up 2 men, and you're taking off your biggest playmaker in the 83rd minute while you're trying to chase a goal. I don't get it. He always takes off Sarr, so I'm not surprised there. Same with Bissouma and Udogie. I don't get why Son and Madison seem to keep getting subbed off, especially when we're bringing on inferior talent. I really don't get it. I trust Postecoglou. I mean, we got the win. We barely got the win, I should say. But still, I don't know. I think the winner would have came from an actual goal from Tottenham if those two stayed on and they had the 20 minutes of the 9 men. But what can I say? So given that those are my player ratings for this match week 7 game of Tottenham versus Liverpool. And that means that's going to wrap it up here. We've covered a lot here, but that's going to be it for today. Tottenham travel to Kenilworth Road. The away fans will be going through the back gardens as they will face off against Luton Town next Saturday. It is the 12:30 kickoff in England, which means it's a 7:30 kickoff here in the Eastern Time Zone of the United States. We will be back to recap that one as always